intlx Solutions, founded by engineers valued for our expertise. Managing the messages your customers hear when calling into your call center is a never-ending task, and in this video, we'll discover how we can manage announcements in Avaya Aura Media Server using Avaya System Manager. We'll begin by getting logged into our Avaya System Manager, and there is one requirement in this exercise. Your Avaya Media servers must already be enrolled in System Manager, and to check this, we can navigate to Elements, then Media Server, and finally click on Cluster Administration. If you see media servers here, then that means they have been registered to System Manager, and in my lab I have 2 media servers. In this video, we're going to do 2 things. First, I'll create an announcement. Then I'm going to record that announcement with my Avaya J100 series zip phone. That announcement file will then be loaded onto AAMS 1. If you want to add some redundancy to your announcement architecture, then we would want to use something called audio groups. Our announcement files are loaded to both of our media servers so that if one were to fail, our announcement playback would continue seamlessly. And I'll cover that in detail later in this video. To begin, I'm going to create an announcement that will be recorded by phone. We'll do this by navigating to Elements, Communication Manager, Call Center, and finally Announcements. To create a new announcement, click on the New button, and the new announcement form presents. We begin by adding the name of the announcement, then the extension the announcement will be assigned to. For the type, we'll use the general purpose option of integrated. And for the source, I'll choose Media Server 1, and that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and click Submit. Now, before we can record that announcement from that J100 series zip phone, or really any phone, I need to make sure that it has permission to do so. So what we'll do is drop down the System option. And what I'm looking for here is Class of Service. I know that my phone is assigned to Class of Service 1, so let's go ahead and select that. Then choose Edit. The permissions that you'll need to record the announcement is console permissions. I can see here that I do have that selected, so I'm ready to record announcements from my Avaya phone. Let's go ahead and cancel out of here. Now, as I've stated, we're going to be recording this announcement from a telephone, and to access the call recording feature from a telephone, we use a FAQ, or Feature Access Code. The feature access code we'll use is called the Announcement Access Code, and we can find this code under the System section of System Manager by navigating to Feature Access Code. Now, this code is unique to my system. Your system will have a different code defined, and here we can see mine is *100. Recording an announcement from a phone is pretty easy. I'm going to post the instructions here on the screen, and while you're reading through those, I'll be using these instructions to record my announcement from a telephone. I'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. Now that I've recorded the announcement with my phone, if I refresh the page, you might expect to see the size populated here, but you don't, even with Sync Notify enabled. So if we want to see the recording size immediately so that we know the recording is well recorded, then go to Services, Inventory, Synchronization, Communication Systems, then select the option here for Incremental Sync, then choose Now. Let's navigate back over to our announcement, and we can see now that the size is populated against our new announcement. While we are in our announcement list screen, let's take a look at how we could back up or download our announcement files to our PC. To begin, click on your announcement, drop down More Actions, then choose Backup. Once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and click on More Actions again. This time choose Download. We can see that the system has created a backup file, and if we click on it, we can see that it has backed up both the announcement and property files. Selecting the announcement, then choose Download, and our announcement is downloaded to our PC. If I navigate to the backup file on my PC, and let's go ahead and extract the content to see what's inside. Here we can see the properties file, and a folder called M1 representing Media Server 1, and if I click on that folder, you can see that the announcement file that I recorded from the phone earlier is in this folder. I can use this announcement to restore an announcement that might have become corrupt, or I could rename it and use it to replace and or update an existing announcement that may be part of an audio group. So on that note, let's talk about audio groups. First, I'm going to rename my staged announcement. There we go. And then navigate back over to my System Manager. Now that we're inside of our System Manager, click on Audio Groups, then select New. Since this is my first audio group, I'll populate it with a value of 1. Then I'll give it a meaningful name. And then we'll choose which media servers will be a member of this audio group. In this example, it will be media server 1 and 2. And with all that populated, I can now select Commit. With our audio group set up, we'll now want to create a new announcement which will utilize this newly created audio group. Again, under Announcements, hitting New. For the name, I'll type in the name of my announcement WAV file. Select an extension. Then for type, choose Integrated again. And for the source, I'll be selecting the audio group that I created a moment ago. With all of that populated, I simply hit Commit. Now it's time to upload our announcement to the audio group, or more specifically the media servers that are part of that audio group. From our Announcements Management screen, drop down More Actions, then choose Broadcast. We'll select both of our media servers as a destination, then select Choose File. And we'll want to select the announcement file we renamed a bit ago. Selecting Now pushes the file to both of the media servers. Let me give this page a quick refresh, and we get a view of the announcement properties associated with the announcement extension we just created. And I also see that the .wav file itself has been uploaded to both media servers 1 and 2. You can also view and manage announcements directly from the Avaya Media Server, and we can get to our media server directly from System Manager by navigating back to our Media Server tab. I'm going to click on both the AAMS 1 and AAMS 2 links here, which will open new browser tabs to those servers. To manage the announcements on our media server, under Tools we click on Media Management, then choose Communication Manager, then select Browse. If we click on the announcement storage area, we see the first announcement we created, which we only uploaded to Media Server 1, and the announcement that was broadcast, which was part of Audio Group 1. Navigating to the same spot on Media Server 2, we can see the redundant copy of our Bit Training Systems broadcasted announcement. On either media server, there are options to add and delete media, but I personally find it easier to manage everything from System Manager. In the case of our audio groups, it prevents me from having to upload the same announcement to 2 different media servers, since the System Manager broadcast option does this all in one step. Let's do some testing. I've created a real simple vector that plays an announcement that is part of Audio Group 1. I'll go ahead and run a trace on the VDN that points to this vector. And on our first call, we can see that the announcement was played off of announcement board M1, or Media Server 1. Running the trace again and placing another call, we can see that it is now playing from announcement board M2, or Media Server 2. This is a good test to see how the system presents our redundant announcements to the caller. I didn't include it in the video, but I also busied out the signaling groups associated with Media Server 1, and the announcement continued to play without interruption from Media Server 2, just as we would expect. For our final exercise, I'm going to record an announcement to replace the Bit Training Systems announcement because I have a Help Me Reach 1,000 Subscribers campaign rolling out, so I'll need to replace that announcement with a new recording. But in all seriousness, please hit that subscribe button. 80% of my viewers are not subscribed, and it would mean the world to me if you hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything to do so. Something else that's free is Audacity. It's a free audio recording and editing tool that I will be using to record my new announcement. I'll start by going to Edit, then Preferences, and under Quality I'm going for 16 by 16. That is 16,000 Hz sample rate with a 16-bit sample format. Make sure the project rate is set here, and just above I'm setting the recording channel to mono. Next, I'll quickly record my announcement. There we go. And then we can trim up the head and tail ends of this audio file. And now we're ready to export it as a WAV file. And we'll use this file to replace the announcement we recorded from our telephone. Now to do this, select File, export, export as WAV, and we'll name it Bit Training Systems to match the file we are replacing, and we'll want to make sure the encoding is set to EULA, then click Save. Let's head back to System Manager and replace the Bit Training Systems announcement, which is part of Audio Group 1. I'll start by deleting the announcement from Media Server 1. Choose the Delete Associated Audio file, and then Delete. Hitting the refresh button, we can see the .wav file on Media Server 1 is now gone, and if I actually navigate back to the Media Server itself, the .wav file, as we can see here, has been removed as well. Now we're going to restore our Bit Training Systems announcement to M1. To do this, I'll drop down More Actions, choose Broadcast, and select Media Server 1. We'll select Choose File and browse to our Bit Training Systems WAV file. With that uploaded, we can finally choose Now. If I do a quick refresh of my announcement list page, I can see that my announcement is loaded to M1, and it is of a larger size than the same named announcement that is currently loaded on M2. Navigating back to the Media Server, just for the sake of seeing it with our own eyes, a quick refresh here shows that our new announcement is present on Media Server 1. Following the same procedure, and I'm not going to cover it all in detail because it's redundant to the steps we followed for replacing the file on Media Server 1, but I'm going to delete the file on Media Server 2 and then replace it using the broadcast method as I did with Media Server 1. Following this method ensures that there's always media file available. Instead of deleting both of those files simultaneously, we do it in a methodical way, one at a time, to ensure that our callers do not hear silence whenever they have that announcement played back to them in a vector step. intlx Solutions, empowering people, connecting businesses.